Welcome to the Off Tackle with John Fina show on the Overreaction Sports Network. Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome everybody into the Sahlen's Off Tackle with John Fina show on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. My name is Joe Miller, and you can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired, alongside my co-host, the one, the only John Fina, former Buffalo Bills left tackle, franchise left tackle for the Buffalo Bills in the heyday, the 90s era Buffalo Bills. And you can find him on Twitter at John Fina. So good to have every single one of you guys join us for this wonderful episode of the Sahlen's Off Tackle with John Fina show, where we're going to break down some information. But do us a favor, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, whatever platform you're consuming this presentation on. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button right now. Do it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Help us get our metrics up, our numbers up. And if you're listening in podcast form, share it with a friend, text it to somebody, email it to somebody, something like that. Tell them what a great show it is. But appreciate all of you guys joining us. The Buffalo Bills, now 6-3, have signed, John, to the practice squad, Mecole Hardman. So more of the same. So we've already got like 4 versions of this guy on the roster, but apparently we needed another one. So that's the news of the day.
What'd you say his name is?
Mecole Hardman.
Mecole, M-H, like Matt Hollins.
M-E. Oh, man.
Maybe with the alliteration. Maybe.
I don't think so.
Be like our new Mac Hollins.
I don't think so.
Everybody panned him, Joe. So let's have an open mind. They signed him for a reason, whether it's kick return, punt return, speed, what have you. Maybe he gets a revitalization coming to Buffalo. Let's embrace the notion.
Embrace it we shall, because we don't really have any other choice. So it wasn't somebody in the Rolodex. So maybe Brandon Beane is watching our stuff and hearing me complain about how he always goes back to the well to guys that are in the Rolodex. But I don't know that Mecole Hardman is going to be the answer. But a lot of energy, a lot of stuff coming off of, like, Twitter has not slowed down, John Fina, as far as just Bills Mafia being all up in their feelings, to include Brian Daboll getting fired from the Giants today on Monday. Right. What, around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock or something like that this afternoon. So the Mafia is very much all about bringing Brian Daboll back to the Buffalo Bills. McDermott was asked about it in his Monday pressers today. I'm bringing Brian Daboll back, and he said that as of right now, I don't think he said that. He said we have no intention of bringing Brian Daboll back into the organization, which who knows?
Let's say if you were going to bring him back. A little subterfuge, Joe.
It's the whole we have no desire to trade. We have no desire to trade said player, and next thing you know, said player is getting traded. Is kind of one of those situations. But yeah, the Bills Mafia is all up in their feelings, and the post that we ran on social media today to basically highlight the post-game show from last night was just Jerry's point, which I thought was not profound, but it was pointed. You know, the fact that you guys as former players understand what that game, that Bills-Miami Dolphins game, means to this city, to the people in this city, to the past, to this franchise. And to hear player after player after player talk about how the Dolphins wanted it more. They had more energy. They clearly wanted to win. We didn't want to win as much as they wanted to win. I don't want to say disheartening. It's concerning to me. Is concerning the wrong word? I don't know. I mean, it's a little strange.
No, oh boy. So I think in a loss of this type, you look for all kinds of places to lay blame, lay excuses, what have you. And I think when you're in the dark, like all of us are, including myself, you're going to generally pick up on every little nuance that you can find, whether it's an attitude during warm-up or anything. People are going to latch on to that. The second part of that is, I don't care who you are. Let me word this better.
Okay.
It's hard to explain from a player perspective to the general public and a fan such as yourself how long the season actually feels. And how challenging it is mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. All those things are really, really press on you. And every team has these moments in a season. Now, particularly bad is that it came after a Kansas City win when X was all aflutter with how we've turned the corner and we've got it figured out. And then boom, we hit the skids with this Miami game. So
Right.
you could
Right.
say, too high, too much expenditure, and then there we fall short. Let's blame it on everything. I mean, everything under the sun is under scrutiny right now, except for our punter, I think. That's about it. I mean, I can't think of anything else free of free of attack. Guys are up and down all season long.
Do
So,
you buy do you
am
do you
I
buy
concerned?
into do you buy into the emotional letdown coming off the Chiefs game, that the Chiefs win was such a high that it felt like they figured it out, like they got back on track, they got right? Do you feel like there was a bit of an emotional high and a letdown coming off that game?
I don't know. Um, I wonder sometimes if you have to game plan every game, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes you come out, you're running your stuff against what you think is going to work, and it doesn't work. Sometimes it's the wrong game plan.
Right.
You're trying to force a square peg, so to speak. So it could have been a little bit of that because as I look at the game plan, with respect to we're a run first team and we're not dedicating to the run as successfully as we previously had, and then you abandon it super quick. Now the defense didn't help us, right? You get down 16-0, and we're not used to that kind of adversity by and large. So we
Right.
start doing things that are outside of what the game plan was because you feel like this necessity to catch up, to strike, to get going. Um, Again, I mean, I don't pay particular attention to warm-ups. Maybe people that were there live saw it and thought, wow, this team looks a little flat. The first drive was not fantastic. We punted. The second drive ends in a 4th and 1 that's not converted. There are details within it that if you want to get wonky and dive deep, you could say this is the reason why. But sometimes it's easier to say they were flat.
Yeah. It's interesting because Victor Kreidner, getting back to McCole Hardman getting signed by the Buffalo Bills practice squad today, he says, I hope McCole Hardman helps, still has dangerous speed. This team is not not devoid. The team isn't void of speed. Curtis Samuel runs a 4.340. Like, they just don't put him outside. Like, there's guys on this team that can get vertical. Khalil Shakir can get vertical, but the only thing they throw to him is that wide receiver screen where he's just flanked off the side of the offensive tackle or the tight end. This feels more like a kick returner, punt returner type situation with Codrington still being hurt. When you watch Khalil Shakir return a punt, he catches the football and immediately darts for the sideline. There is no shake and bake Roscoe Parrish. There is no Terrence McGee trying to break one. Khalil Shakir is more of a, I'm going to use the word punt catcher, more of a he's trying to catch it, secure it, right, and then get out of bounds versus make a game changing play with the football. So I feel like this has more of a feeling of PRKR than it does we're going to put this guy outside and then see what he can do. And then obviously I would expect us to be getting Joshua Palmer back at any point in time, which is he's supposed to
Yeah.
be that
So
boundary wide receiver.
you packed a lot into that, Joe, and
Sorry,
I agree.
sorry,
I think we
sorry.
have the speed. We're not using the philosophy or the tack that lets the speed do what it can. And Josh Palmer being injured certainly doesn't help, right? We
Right,
felt like good things were coming from him. Uh,
right.
and this kind of let me address punt returning. Okay, as a player, I just want him to catch the thing. Okay, because half the time you get a great return, it's coming back on a flag. So I never expect a lot. And we
Right.
we we have the second worst field position in the league right now. The stats have come out.
Mm.
Kickoff return is where I'm really kind of disappointed. Like, can we not get the ball past the 30-yard line? And we seem to not be able to, except one of every 5 or 6 returns. That to me is just unacceptable. We have to get better at that.
Yeah,
Punt, catch it. Let's go play football. I just every
yeah.
time I was on the sideline, and I learned quickly when we had a big return out at, say, the 40, I started my walk to the field to the 20 because my expectation was there was going to be a flag.
Yeah, I remember you saying. Yeah, I remember you saying. You've talked about that a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
That you guys would literally like go that direction, like towards the end zone versus like out to where the ball was.
And I'll tell you, Joe, with the officiating that we're seeing, after a great play, I wait for 5 seconds to cheer because I never know when the flag is going to come out. And my expectation is they are going to flag. Not just the Bills. When I'm watching Duke, when I'm watching anybody, I've just given up on cheering a great play. I just scan the field backwards. I'm just looking
Yeah,
over there. They're
yeah,
going
yeah.
this way. I'm looking over there. And once I see that the field is clean, I'll give it a little golf clap.
A little golf
And then you
clap.
know what? I'll give the great cheer at the end when we have more donuts on the scoreboard than they do.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, why don't you talk about one or both of our sponsors for this show before we get into some of your film breakdown?
Well, let me tell you something.
All
We're
right, you
proud to
tell
be
me.
sponsored by Sahlen's. They make the best damn hot dogs, Joe. But you know what else they make? They make deli meats. You
Really?
know, they're a 150-year-old, 5-generation company based in Buffalo, employs over 100 people. And from Western New York all the way to the West Coast, Sahlen's Smokehouse hot dogs and deli meats are packed with pride,
Mm,
freshness, and quality. And they're overflowing with savory flavor.
mm.
Sizzling ham steaks in a skillet, grilling pork and beef hot dogs with crispy, tender casing, or stacking a sandwich tall with premium slices of smokehouse turkey. When it's time to eat, it's time for Sahlen's. Joe, it's like a guilty pleasure, or hell, a weekly pleasure.
Mm,
I love a good hot dog. I kind of go for a kraut dog or a chili dog.
mm.
And you know what? Sahlen's is versatile, load it up any way you want it. And if you can't get Sahlen's where you are in your local grocer, go to Sahlen.com and order them, and they'll deliver them right to your door. You're going to love it.
Absolutely.
Yep. And listen, we're a food podcast. That's all there is to it. And,
Clearly,
and I'm just
clearly.
gonna dive right in because there's an Anchor Bar in Tucson, Arizona. I love it, Joe. I mean, if you want to go to an Anchor Bar and watch the Bills game or any damn game, 17 franchise locations, including the original on Main Street, Buffalo, you're going to be surrounded by televisions. Every damn sport. They have Highlight on. They have carriage races. I mean, you're going to see bags tournaments. Anchor Bar is the home for sports and the original Buffalo chicken wing. Frank and Teresa came up with the idea, and it has taken off. It's the embraced food of Buffalo, the chicken wing, synonymous with Anchor Bar, Buffalo Bills fan football, and frankly, any sports addict out there. So if you want to order them, you can order them. And they got a variety of sauces. Prep them at home. Go to your local Anchor Bar. Thank you, Anchor Bar, for sponsoring the Overreaction Buffalo Sports Network.
Absolutely. Now that the business has been handled, second view of the game. Quick thoughts before we get into some film breakdown.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a quick comment up here from Tracy. She says, let Josh run the offense. And I like what you're saying, Tracy, but I'm going to bring you into my first clip. And I'm going to kind of massage this idea, right? We talk about a wide receiver one. We argue we don't have one. We didn't get anything at the trade deadline. Everybody wanted something. It didn't happen. But that doesn't mean you give up. You give up on the season. You're not the offensive coordinator. You are not the head coach. You've got to live and breathe within the parameters of the offense until you can have your voice heard or get some philosophy in that you want. And I'm not bagging on Josh here, Joe. I just want to say he's got to take what's given to him. I'm going to
Right.
run this play, and it's a little grainy, but there are moments, and this is early in the game. All my clips are from the first quarter. My point with this clip is early in the game, you just want to get drives going. You want to damage the defense 1,000 cuts, right? Bleed them
Yep.
dry.
Yep. Yep.
So you can't always sit back, especially early in the game, and look for the long ball, look for the big play. You've got to surgically go after them. And this play is representative of Josh having an opportunity with this underneath route. It's not sexy. It's not cool, but it's going to get you into 2nd and 6, right? And then from 2nd and 6, you can run the ball or you can throw the ball. So I'm not bagging on Josh. Everybody knows I love Josh Allen, but he's got 2 guys open. He doesn't pull the trigger. he pulls it down, and he goes.
He had it cocked. He had it cocked. He wanted to put. He wanted to pull the trigger.
He's got two guys, and I think, and I'll move on to the next clip, which is not dissimilar from this one. I think there's got to be the situation is you got the big dog, and you want to let the big dog eat. But occasionally you got to put the leash on the dog, and you got to live in the kennel. And this is a kennel moment for Josh. This is not a big old side of beef moment throwing the ball downfield. And early in the game, take what you can get. Okay. So that's my comment there. Do you have a question?
I don't have a question. Joe Brady in his presser today was just talking about how he wished they had thrown it more in the first quarter specifically, that he had called more pass plays. He felt like I'm going to I didn't see the whole presser. I was traveling today. So I just saw some of the clips, but it sounded like he was saying that he felt like they were forcing the run, which is interesting because the Miami Dolphins coming into this football game had one of the worst run defenses in the league. Right. And there's this notion of, that was said that Brady said that, they did some things different that we weren't expecting. And it threw me for a little bit of a loop. Like, you can't overcome that. So, like, if that's the case, why doesn't every defense just roll something different out there? Because it's going to make the offense be like, oh no, what are we going to do? They're doing something different. Like, it was very strange to me.
At the risk of, getting hate mail, I'm not going to defend Joe Brady, but that was a pass. And there were an initial primary receiver open for a modest gain, and Josh didn't take it.
Didn't take it, yep.
Right. And this is not dissimilar also from the first quarter, where Josh just looks a little tentative. And we're talking about this a little bit, like, what's going on with Josh? Why is he not just letting it fly? I saw
Samuel open like right away across the middle, like rip the seam, right? That's a Tom Brady play. There. Rip the seam. Yep.
Right there. You're absolutely right. He misses that one. And I'm going to pause it because you see it right at the bottom of your screen. There's Curtis Samuel. The ball comes out now. You can see Josh is looking to his right, but he should hit the curl. That ball should be out for the curl. So he's tentative. All right. And nobody knows the reason. And we're just
What do you think? What do you think? We've done this show since 2020. So you've seen the great Josh Allen. You've seen the bad Josh Allen. This is a different version of this. Isn't Josh Allen forcing the football. This isn't him putting the ball in harm's way, turnover-worthy plays. This is a completely different version of Josh Allen. Like, what is look at Curtis Samuel is all alone in this enormous Dolphins logo. Like, and I don't know who's at the top. Is it Shakir? Shakir's open at the top, and he's got the curl.
He's got the curl. That's really where this throw should go, because if you go
and Cook is leaking. Cook is leaking out the backside.
Right. And if you're just taking it back a little bit, his shoulders, he's definitely looking at Shakir first. It's like a safety blanket. To me, there might be a little bit of, I don't want to say confidence loss, because he threw the ball really well against Kansas City. So I don't know what's going on, but he is definitely tentative here. And to what Joe Brady said, if it's a different look than we expected from their defense, that will cause you to hold on to the ball and not pull the trigger. So look, maybe he kicks it this week. And I'm not throwing the season away, right? We beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They were rolling. So I'm still confident that they can continue to get things worked out. I don't love that we're in this stage, that we're still working it out, but I'm confident that we have a chance. I'm not going to say it's going to happen. It's a tough test this week against Tampa Bay, though, for sure. I mean, not really the week you want to be still finding yourself, and you don't want to be finding yourself throughout the season. Josh, take the curl or hit the slant.
Yeah, but what happens if the Buffalo Bills, the Bucs come into Buffalo and the Bills lose to the Bucs after the Patriots beat the Bucs?
What happens? Oh, well,
what? Not what happens, but state of the franchise, state of the situation, right? I mean, we are in full meltdown mode as Bills Mafia right now.
Of course. Yeah,
the Bills dropped to 6-4. They're clearly out of the playoff picture, which doesn't mean anything right away, right? You're lurking. But you're dropping 2 in a row again for the second time this season, which again doesn't necessarily mean anything. But you're also losing ground with the Patriots, and you're last week the Patriots handled the Buccaneers.
Right. The short question was what happens to the franchise. I think you see changes. I think if we and I don't know if that's the head coach or the general manager, but this all comes from Pagula, right? I mean,
Right.
look, what I don't know about hockey, you could just about squeeze into the Grand Canyon. But my understanding is the Sabres are nothing fantastic. So what the hell's going on there? Maybe they don't make the same amount of money. Maybe he feels that, hey, we're making a lot of money with the Bills and it is a business, and I'm not going to fault people for wanting to make money. But depending how involved he is, depending on who's, talking in his ear, I think you might see some changes if this season, ends up either wild card or less than, which, ooh, God, I can't even believe I said that out loud.
Well, right, which is tough. So I just want to talk. I want to pull this up real quick. One Connecticut Bills fan says Brady is crazy. As soon as they didn't gain more than 3 yards on a first down, he went to the pass. He didn't stick with the run whatsoever. And I just want to go back to it in Brady's post. And yeah, but the problem is in Brady's presser today, he said on Monday, we didn't pass it enough. The run wasn't there. I should have passed it more.
Okay, so. Okay. If you're down by 16, you're making changes to your philosophy. And I think that's part of why, he might have said, well, I don't think we were throwing enough. But this is early in the game. These are throws that Josh needs to pull the trigger on. These are completions to be had. I'm never going to say easy because, hell, I can't even throw a ball across the room anymore. But these are completions to be had. And early in the game, you just want to generate first downs, right? You want to keep getting first downs, stay neck and neck. And when you get those deep chances, when the game is close, go for the kill. We unfortunately were behind the 8 ball, and we're not designed to go deep. We're not designed to do the things that the big dog wants to do. And they need to figure out how to add that kind of stuff.
Right. Very good. Got a super chat real quick. I'm going to throw it up here for you. This is from Marino's Legacy, which is interesting. So this is I don't know if this is a Dolphins fan or what, but he says, John really respected your game. This team reminded me of the 94 season you guys had after a great run. Am I overreacting, or do you see something else? I like this question because this is that whole winner's fatigue thing. And Steve Tasker was talking about it on One Bills Live, I think today or maybe last week. Just like you get so used to it that sometimes you need that shock of we missed the playoff. You look at the Ravens. The Ravens went one season and didn't make it and came back a little bit on fire. But Marino's Legacy, thank you so much for the super chat. John, I don't know if you want to respond to that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marino's Legacy. I appreciate that. I'm going to say this, and nobody's going to like it, okay? The reason, in my opinion, that we started failing in the mid-90s had more to do with our limited offensive philosophy. The K-gun was so limited, and teams started figuring it out. They got better at defending it, and we were never in a position where we were using multiple position groups, right? We never used a fullback. We barely ever had 2 tight ends on the field. And if we didn't have the K-gun, we had nothing. We couldn't do we were not the team that would line up in 13 personnel and hammer you with the run, and then the next play, be empty and have 4 wides. That just wasn't us. And I think that was truly the demise of what happened in the mid-90s. We just couldn't keep up, and they caught up to us.
Gotcha. Very good. Appreciate the super chat. Also from a Dolphins fan. That's awesome. So, and love the respect that he paid you. That was great.
Appreciate that. And thanks for the compliment. It's a tough game to play. You can't win them all. And I'd hope that I gave my best in every game without being flat. All right, Joe, I got to get back to the run game. I'm not bagging on Josh. I want him to take what they give, love them, and I still believe in this team, maybe because I'm an optimist to a fault. All right, this is zone week. I'm going to run it in a second. Zone weak is very different than zone strong, where you're running to the sideline. So this play is designed to hit inside of Deion Dawkins and probably inside of Spencer Brown. A wide zone play is pressuring the tight ends and the receiver blocking, and you can cut that typically from the left guard all the way to the sideline. Why do I bring this up? Your aiming point and your technique matters, right? So inside zone, you don't want to drift. You want to take a step, make your read, and climb the linebacker. James Cook is a great running back, not because he's a great running back, but he's in conjunction with an offensive line that's doing things right. And here's an example of not doing things right. So I want you to keep your eye on Connor McGovern here. Keep in mind, this is inside zone. Deion Dawkins' guy is so wide he's off the screen. There's no chance in hell this thing is going to break outside or at the numbers. And here we go. Snap of the ball. Handoff downhill. Now, did you watch McGovern? I'm going to play it again. He should step, check the hip, and climb. All right. Now I'm going to bring it back, and we're going to go. All right. Now, for everybody watching, the guy
McGovern over pursues as an offensive lineman, which is super bizarre. But go ahead.
Okay. So it's a bad angle.
Right.
So the 3 technique on Edwards is almost a 4 technique. He's so wide. That should be McGovern's first indication that he's going to climb this linebacker on the hash mark a lot faster. So given that, and it's weak zone, he should put his left foot down. You see the hip of the defensive tackle is even or goes away. By now, he should be going vertical up the hash mark. All right.
Right.
So he's already out
basically
of
what Spencer Brown did. Effectively what Spencer Brown did.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, if he does that, this is going to cut back behind Torrance. Think Thurman Thomas. This is what happens 95 times out of 100 when Thurman would take the ball. He reads the nose guard who's flying to the left. He breaks it back. We have a good cutoff block by the tight end. Spencer Brown is climbing the linebacker, but one guy without the attention to detail misses, and there's the backdoor tackle.
Yep.
I mean, this is really hard to even comprehend, but going back and getting even a little bit wonkier, Joe, look at McGovern's first step. It's almost a right foot step. If he picks up his left, he just puts it back down. What he should be doing, if he's not going to help Torrance at all here, what he should be doing is stepping with his left. He keeps his shoulders square, but immediately on his first step, it's up and down. And in this right one, it's actually a bucket step. That bucket step is when you take your foot, you lift it up, and you actually step back and inside.
Got it.
So the natural thing physically you have to do is compensate by bringing your right leg all the way across. That's what McGovern does, and he's basically facing the sideline. This play is cutting up inside 100 times out of 100. And this technique is baffling to me.
Good breakdown.
Thank you, sir.
Really, really good breakdown.
All right. The last one, and look, I get it. Everybody's piling on our beloved Buffalo Bills because they didn't perform. We didn't win the game. We did a lot of things wrong. But occasionally, we have to give some credit to the defense, to the team we played, and this is a really good scheme. Now, we didn't do a great job blocking this pass protection scheme here, but it's a pretty damn good scheme. All right, so keep your eye on the left side. Dawkins and Edwards get inside moves. We have to scan Ty Johnson all the way across the formation to pick up the linebacker coming or the safety coming, whichever it is, linebacker, and we just do not do a good job. The first call out I got to make here is Edwards. And just think going back to that last play, we were talking about what McGovern did. And we've reviewed this a number of times. Edwards jumps this wide 3. So he's got the guy. What I always say when I'm coaching is if the guy is where you want him already on your outside shoulder, then just pat your feet like a tennis player waiting for a serve.
Wait for him to come in. Yep.
Just get a little depth, read the inside shoulder. Edwards flat out just jumps this guy. He goes shallow, he goes hard, and what he ends up with is extension. Now, physics, body habitus. If you go too far with one leg, you cannot press off that leg and drive inside. You have to bring that other leg. It's just you have no power. So he gives up all of his power angles on this inside move by Sealer, and Sealer's a good player. And now he's in a really bad position right here. He can't drive on him. All he can do is lay up on him and try to force him flat. Zach Sealer is strong, powerful, and fast. He gets a rip on him, and now we get depth in the pass rush. Deion Dawkins has a similar problem. He doesn't shut it down. Ty Johnson is too shallow. He can't scrape behind Deion Dawkins now, and we end up with the situation where Josh then floats into the rush, and he doesn't have any protection, and it forces an errant throw. Now,
Gotcha.
you can fault the running back. I think it's all three guys here that just don't do any favors for this play. And to be fair, this is a good scheme. This is a very good scheme.
Interesting. I'm trying to formulate how I want to.
I hear the frustration in your exhale, Joe, and I have the same. And this is what I'm talking about, the details. You know, we're a lot of teams Super Bowl, which means you have to be perfect. And perfect isn't just assignment. Perfect is a 6-inch step when you have to have a 6-inch step. And when we don't get that, you get your body out of position. And guys are just too big and fast to really compensate or react in time.
I think the concern is, as you've broken down some good film, and we've only got a couple minutes left in the show. The Atlanta Falcons sold out to stop the run, and it befuddled our offense. You know, Josh Allen, MVP quarterback, couldn't throw the football against the Falcons. And the Dolphins, with the worst rush defense in the league, did the same thing. They sold out to stop the run and said, we're going to dare Josh Allen to throw the football against us. Maybe not because it's Josh Allen, but because they probably do. They do film study, and I'm sure that they see the same things, that Josh is tentative, that he's not taking advantage of the things that are there. So there's just a misalignment. They're not in a rhythm. Pick whatever the word is.
Yep.
It's a really bizarre position to be in, where teams are like, we're going to stop the run game and we're just going to like play man up on you or some zone stuff, dare you to throw it, and the Bills can't. And we are at the point now where this is going to be rinse and repeat. And I think it's just chilling to think that this is where we're at. Like, this is where we're at.
You know, we could be there could be a CTJ meeting going on, you know, in the building right now. And for those of you who don't know, the CTJ is the Come to Jesus meeting. Yes. And, you know, it could be McDermott and Brady and whomever else on the offensive staff sitting down with Josh and really diving in and saying, what do we need to do to help you thrive? Bringing those wide receivers in and saying, how can we get you better utilized? We're you know, now we're hamstrung by a hamstring with Dalton Kincaid, and things do not look great. So what's the solution? Frankly, I'm not an offensive wizard. I don't have it, but I know that you've got to feed Josh's, I don't want to say ego, but you got to feed his player persona and give him opportunities to, you know, kind of drive the ball downfield. But maybe you make a handshake deal and say, we'll do that. But Josh, it's 1st and 10 on our 30. Hit the underneath route. Take the curl. Take what they're giving you. Continue to take it, because that's what generates bigger plays in the end. If you start hurting people underneath, then you're able to start taking shots. It's all, Joe, we talk about this all the time. Play action, you know, if you're running the ball well, look, they give us a little bit of a soft zone underneath. Just take it. Just take it.
Right. Just take it. Well, I appreciate you allowing me to pepper you with questions week after week when we do these things, as I'm just the idiot fan that I feel like is asking the same question that a lot of people are asking, and we don't necessarily get the answer. So I appreciate you providing answers as best as you can, breaking down film. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, I'm just the idiot former pro who doesn't have an answer half the time. And you're asking me very, very smart and challenging questions. And I'm on the a la minute. I'm like trying to figure out, like, okay, you know, and sometimes it's like, am I talking myself into a circle? And that's because I don't have the answers either. But, you know, reviewing the film, there are moments and there are opportunities. We can't just say, oh, he doesn't have a great wide receiver room. You still have to make the throws that are available. And you still have to block weak zone the way it's supposed to be blocked. And you can't go down to Miami flat if you were, and you can't go down there and block, inappropriately on pass pro. Your technique matters. And I don't know if it's laziness or hubris or what have you, but I don't think that this team, and this is why, and I think I've finally come up with the reason I don't believe that they're flat. I don't believe that they took it for granted that they're playing the Dolphins. We haven't had the type of success this year that they should have this ego or attitude that we're just going to walk in and everybody's going to kneel at our feet. Right. So that's why I don't believe it was that. I just feel like everybody feels a little bit lost, and somebody has to take command and say, take what they give, do the right damn thing every play, and stop pointing fingers and looking for somebody else to make a play, and be the guy yourself that makes the play.
Yeah, super good. With that, John, great work as always in this episode. But just want to take a moment and thank everybody for tuning in to the Sahlen's Off Tackle with John Fina show here on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. Appreciate all of you always just being here, and the regulars and those that hang with us and hang on these programs and the things that we do. Just can't thank you enough. Thank you to our sponsors as well, who help support and make this thing go, because this stuff costs money. This platform that we use to broadcast costs money, and it's not cheap. So thank you to the fans, and thank you for the people in the comment section, the podcast listeners. Thank you to the sponsors, Sahlen's and Anchor Bar. Thank you to everybody. Now, coming up this week, there is no On the Beat tomorrow. I'm traveling. It just couldn't make it happen this week, so there will be no On the Beat episode tomorrow, so I apologize to everybody for that. Wednesday, 7 Days of Sunday with Jerry Ostrowski and Zig Fracassi. What do we got? Saturday rather. The walkthrough with Anthony Marino will be in the morning, and then Mafia Bets in the evening, prior to the Bucks game, and then obviously, as always, the Overreaction post-game show on Sunday night after the Bills-Buccaneers game, after the Bills host the Bucks for a 1:00 game. I think the last one is this, or is the Jets game a 1:00 game too? Well, one of the last 1:00 games in Buffalo this year. So what are we going to say?
I was going to say the FanDuel odds on the Buffalo Bills Tampa Bay game are -5.5. So
Bills are
check
favored
in with Mafia Bets and Dan Freddy, and you know what? If that's your thing, Freddie's really knowledgeable, and take advantage of it.
Yeah, it does a good job. So we're for 5.5 point favorites per FanDuel at the moment, is what you're telling me.
That's right.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, John. For me, for John, for Jerry, for Zig, for Ants, for Dan, for all of us here at Overreaction. We appreciate you guys. Love you. Go Bills.
For Anchor Bar and for Sahlen's, I say go Bills.
Go Bills.